can you tell us a little bit about your path and how you got to your role? Because you're a little unique in that sense.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a sidewinder. I don't like to go in straight lines at all when it comes to my career path. So I actually started with the company when it was Certegy, which was a payment processing company for credit cards specifically in our St. Pete, Florida office. I had an entry level position. I had a friend who was working in the call center at the time. I was, I believe, actually working at Bell's, the Florida store, doing retail. And they let me know about this job opportunity in the contact center. Like, oh, you're not running around. Your customers aren't in front of your face. It's so much better. So I joined the company then and specifically provided customer service to folks who just needed to know basic things about their credit card. How did I get this interest charge? What's on my statement? Why don't I have any available credit left? All of those basic things. I did that for about a year. Very fast paced environment, 200 calls a day, get everybody on and off the phone under 90 seconds on average, but still be empathetic and still feel like you care, all of that great stuff. So it was a great lesson in resilience and learning how to quickly identify problems and get people moving on to the solution. From there, I actually had an opportunity to join the training group within that contact center. They were opening up a call center in our Little Rock office. And I got the opportunity at like probably 19 to travel to Little Rock and spend a month there at a time training new call center associates within that office. So very unique experience. We had to ship all the paper materials at the time to the office in advance. There were no computers to start out. So it was a lot of whiteboarding and explaining complex systems without them actually getting to touch any of the systems that they would be using. So I did that for about 6 months. Then we moved into skills coaching within the contact center and then essentially moved out of that area of the company and then moved into our client relations world, which is that B2B customer service. And so I had the opportunity to level up my skills a bit. And instead of talking to the front end customer, I was now talking to our client, the bank, and helping them with credit card portfolio decisions, why fees weren't assessing correctly. Again, a lot more problem solving. At that point, that's when FIS had acquired Certegy. And so we were going through that merger. From there, I did close to every job in that room. I did portfolio management, management of people, business analyst, developing system changes for our larger clients, and key accounts specifically. So working with those really high profile clients. And then at the end of that journey, I got to join the client facing train. There was one role that was open for an employee facing trainer within our credit client relations office. And because I had kind of already went through every role in that room and had that perspective of what our clients were expecting for their customers, I was able to develop an onboarding plan for the client relations team. That was interesting. It was very professor style driven. Like, I've got it all here in my head. You guys are going to show up to class. Let's talk through it. I would create my own exercises and practice pieces with those. And then we had an opportunity to branch all of our learning teams together that were within the client engagement group that we worked with. So basically anyone who had a client facing role was moved into one organization within our banking segment to make sure that we provided a consistent experience across the board. So if I have two different products at FIS, I shouldn't call and get two different types of customer service. So they kind of created this great team to capture all those roles, and learning was a part of that. So the learning leader that took over that group, I happened to be the only one focused on employee education out of everybody. And she felt that very strongly that there was a need for an employee facing team within her group to drive that learning culture throughout our ecosystem and make sure that people were given the opportunity and the training plans to actually be successful, so we could actually start to really see a change in the client experience. Because even though we moved everybody into the same group and we created standards, they weren't necessarily given the time and opportunity to learn those standards. They still had their full-time job, but things were just kind of getting piled on. So we had the opportunity, and Barry, that's when you came into the team to build together that onboarding framework for all of those roles, and then also looked at product education. Another program we launched was around emotional intelligence for our leadership team, and then another layer of that for our frontline staff. So it was really paying attention to that employee experience And then from there, now I'm at the global learning team. So our leader got promoted as the head of global learning. And just like in our previous merger of teams, she noticed we do not focus on product education at the highest level. And the businesses trying to do that on their own just doesn't work. So she built in her purview for the global learning team, how do we get product education as a pillar within this strategy? And I had another wonderful opportunity to drive change, and went from about 4,000 people to 50,000 plus. I think it actually might be close to 70,000 now. So it's been very,
And
very
I'm now
interesting.
on that team as well.
Yep.
So
Yeah, we're moving and shaking.